Want to see something cool? The Site 3 generator is tits up at the moment. It went down harder than your roommate trying to get a ride home from the electric forest. In an emergency shutdown, the relays dump a nitrogen tank to push oil into the brakes, but that only works for a couple days before the pressure bleeds off. In hydro, we just have one big shaft with a generator up on top and a turbine on the bottom. Wicket gates aren't totally watertight, and the tiny amount of leakage, only enough to fill your bathtub in 2 seconds, is enough to pinwheel the turbine. We put a lot of work into making sure she never stops spinning. Just leaning on the edge of the rotor is enough to set the unloaded generator in motion. But now we have to hold it still long enough to get the safeties in place. We drain the deluge out of the dungeon, then descend into the dank, dark depths with a double dozen-inch long wrench. Turn to torque the giant bolts that tighten the quad blocks hard up against the shaft, and that adds a few tons of gentle pressure. Just don't get tangled in that shaft or you're going for one hell of a ride. Then we rack a power pack and precisely pump the brakes with the gentle touch of a few thousand pounds. This is one of the very few times you'll ever see a hydro generator sitting perfectly still. And it has that unnerving dead feeling, like when the power goes out in your house and it gets too quiet. That 15 tons of rotor is now heavy on my heart because after a century of spinning, we always worry that this will be the one time she stops spinning forever. But not today. The clock is ticking and we gotta get the old girl moving again. There's a lot of hard and dangerous work between today and getting the lights back on, but that's what we signed up for. And even in the dark, wet, and cold, it's a hell of a way to make a living. Bad days make good stories, and that's pretty cool.